So everyone wants to know how the micro garden's doing. Well, I guess at least one person cares. I'm Josh, this is Oz. We're about to do the 2-week update on the micro garden. Let's go check it out. So here it is in all of its glory. As you can see, almost everything has sprouted that we put in here. So I would say it's doing pretty good. Maybe it hasn't changed the world of gardening yet, but it's a start. So some of you might remember I started this as an experiment because, well, our garden season hasn't been that great. And I built this hugelkultur bed. I'll put a link to that video right there for you. Top corner. Then after that I did a little video about what I was planting in here and why I was planting those plants. My thoughts behind choosing what I chose and why I thought they would work well together. And I said that was kind of a boring video, so I hope this is a little more entertaining for you. So I will put a link for that one there. Actually, I just made a playlist of this whole experiment that I got going on. So far, what we have is a lot of really good germination out of this entire bed. Almost everything has germinated. The only thing I don't see in here, which is something I've been having a problem with everywhere in the garden this year, and that is Swiss chard. I planted some Swiss chard, and it is not sprouted, and it's not sprouted anywhere in my garden. So I don't understand what's really going on with it, but it's got very low germination rate this year. Kind of bummed because the Swiss chard is my favorite, so we will see how this goes. I replanted it last night, watered it good, tried to make sure, you know, we can get some Swiss chard in this mix to really prove out how this bed's working. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up of what's going on and point out a couple things that I've noticed about what's going on with some of the things that have grown. Then we'll talk a little more. So our spaghetti squash has already taken off and it's getting pretty good in size. Not too surprised by that. Then we planted the butternut and it's doing really good also. We got some cucumbers back here that have really started sprouting. Even the okra, and it's already a few inches tall. But okra really does like the heat. Then we got those little basil that started sprouting. You can see some of the eggplant, or pepper, sorry, those are the peppers. No eggplant yet. This is where the Swiss chard would have been. We do have some lettuce coming up, little sprouts of the lettuce. The tomatoes are looking really nice in here. And then the beans and the arugula are both looking really good. There's the arugula. And here's the beans. And it's looking good all the way till you get to right here. So something was back in here eating these beans. I don't know what it was. And there's some Malabar spinach mixed in there. And it's doing really, really nice also. So far, I would say our results with this are really good. And we got a lot of good things that are germinating at a high rate. A few things that are not really doing as good as we would have hoped. But we can change that. We still got a few time, we still got time before our first frost. We're looking at, I think we're about 80-90 days out. So I'm gonna replant some beans over on the back half of it there. I'm not sure what was eating it, but I am gonna do some predator proof because this is the time of year I normally get into like groundhogs coming in the backyard, stuff like that. So I am gonna replant some beans back there, and I do have some that I already started. Asparagus beans, I might actually put those there and kind of mix them so I have two different style of beans. Just because gotta keep things moving along. We are getting closer to our first frost date. It's still about 80-90 days out, so there is time to grow beans from seed. But I already have those ones. I need to put them somewhere, so it might be a good opportunity to try to grow them.
Pirates and Dragonland.
You're playing pirates? Okay. And Dragonland? Who's the dragon?
Yellow.
On the dragon?
I thought we were going camping.
The Swiss chard is something that does worry me. I'm not sure why the Swiss chard is not sprouting, but it's happening everywhere. And I've tried 3 different seed packs of Swiss chard, and I have no Swiss chard growing anywhere. So I might have to go a different route with that. Maybe plant another lettuce, or maybe some collard greens, or something, kale perhaps, something that'll be a little more hardy and last into the end of the season when all this other stuff is going to be fruiting. So we can actually try to make like a whole meal out of just this bed, whatever we grow in here. That would be really a good idea. What can we grow and then make into a full meal to be able to eat? And that would show how good we can actually mix our stuff and what we produce, if we can produce enough to make a full meal out of it. I also did get this cattle panel trellis put up. My idea is that my squash will all grow up over here. It'll shade out what needs to be shaded, such as all our greens, the lettuces. I know the okra and the tomato are going to need sun, so being that they got a good head start, I'm hoping they actually reach the height where they outgrow the squash plant basically, so that they actually get the later end of August, they'll be a little more covered by that squash. And we do have the beans to provide our nitrogen to try to balance some of this out, because when you are in a very small area like we are, you're going to be draining a lot of nutrients out of that soil. And I am not big on adding things to my soil. I don't really fertilize. I don't do any of that. I let things grow naturally how they grow, and I try to mix some plants that will work well together, provide each other with the things they need. That's also why I have like basil, and I want to do some rosemary in here to do some pest control. And probably marigolds would be good because they're good in every bed. You should always plant marigolds everywhere. But that's it. That's kind of the update on the micro garden. See it down there? There's the update on the micro garden. It's doing really well, I would say, for only a couple weeks in and starting in like mid-July. So that's 2 weeks in. I will give you guys another update later on. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'll add this to the playlist, which will be right there. You guys can go see the whole process of building the bed, planting what we planted, why we planted it, and then this is the first update 2 weeks in. And that's it. That's all I got for you. See you in the next one.